Once again, we have to thank our lucky stars that we have Alan Shearer in there fighting our corner. When people take liberties in talking about Newcastle United, the NUFC legend is ready and willing to expose how ridiculous it is. After Newcastle lost to Liverpool on Saturday, Jermaine Jenas was in the BT Sport studio talking about why he didn't have a better career and more caps with England. Amazingly, he has blamed the people around him at Newcastle as being a major factor, saying when he came back from England you bring yourself down to Newcastle level. Jermaine Jenas saying, full quotes from chat with Steven Gerrard and Jake Humphrey below, "I would come back from being with England to Newcastle and I would be up here, miles ahead of everybody, and then literally, because the demand wasn't as high at Newcastle as it was with England. My standards dropped and dropped and dropped through the weeks, to the point where you bring yourself back down to Newcastle level." Whereas Steven Gerrard would be like Liverpool, holds hand high in the air to show their level, and Frank Lampard at Chelsea holds hand high again. The first 3 seasons at Newcastle he was with Sir Bobby Robson, and these were where each club finished in each of those seasons. 2001-02 2nd Liverpool, 4th Newcastle, 6th Chelsea. 2002-03 3rd Newcastle, 4th Chelsea, 5th Liverpool. 2003-04 2nd Chelsea, 4th Liverpool, 5th Newcastle. Only a fool would claim that Newcastle weren't competing with Liverpool and Chelsea at that time. It is laughable. So Jenas really suffered when he came back from England and had to train under Sir Bobby Robson, with Shearer, Speed, Woodgate, Given, Bellamy, Dyer, Solano, Robert, Alan Shearer wasn't taking it lying down, and had this brilliant response to Jermaine Jenas. Alan Shearer on Twitter, "On behalf of me and my teammates at the time, we apologise Jermaine Jenas for not being up to your level when you returned from England games." Jermaine Jenas talking on BT Sport, "I'm not bitter about it. I do live with some regrets. I didn't achieve what I set out to achieve in the game, which never sits well with you as a professional. There were moments in my career when I just didn't do enough." Jake Humphrey, "Why is that? Is it the people around you?" Steven Gerrard, "I think it definitely helps if you are playing in a Champions League side and you are shining on a midweek like Frank Lampard. Playing for Chelsea, if he nicks a goal he is bound to have an advantage when it comes down to England selection over Jermaine. If he is playing at Newcastle, with all due respect, it sometimes depends what players are around you, what club you are at." Jermaine Jenas, "I felt that a lot when I was with England. You could feel kind of the winners in the dressing room. I always felt when I came back from England, my level was kind of went up, and then I could almost feel them dwindle back with Newcastle as the weeks went on. So like training with England was such an intense level and everybody wants to be in the team. Then I would come back to Newcastle and I would be up here, miles ahead of everybody, and then literally, because the demand wasn't as high at Newcastle as it was with England. My standards dropped and dropped and dropped through the weeks, to the point where you bring yourself back down to Newcastle level." Whereas Steven Gerrard would be like Liverpool, holds hand high in the air to show their level, and Frank Lampard at Chelsea holds hand high again.